All right, let's see what we get in terms of DXY and core PC and unemployment claims, both coming out here, should be coming momentarily. This is a 15-minute chart. Let's see if we get any significant reaction to this new data. Dollar initially pushing up just slightly. Let's take a look at what we've got in terms of numbers. We're still on the pending side of things. Let's see. Again, waiting for core PCE and unemployment claims. Dollar dropped back right to where it was. 500 people in here, guys. Say what's up in the chat. Thank you for being here. If you're new, yo, what's up? Welcome to the stream. All right, we are waiting on this number. There it is, 228K. So better than, wow, more data supporting. Actually, no, this is, I'm sorry. Data came out for PCE as expected. So probably not going to cause too much volatility there. However, the secondary number, the unemployment claims here this morning, actually came out better than expected. So less people filing for unemployment, not a huge significant margin. So I wouldn't expect too much movement in terms of the dollar in the short term. But guys, you have to remember NFP is tomorrow, and the dollar, you have to ask yourself, is this dollar going to kind of, what is it going to do ahead of NFP? You know, if people were buying the lows here, they may take some profits. If people were, you know, kind of short bias, they may also take some profits. Sometimes you have to kind of weigh the, do you want to be holding trades into NFP sort of scenario? Let's see how this is impacting my trade. I'm still long NAS. I'm going to pull up the NASDAQ, put up the 1 hour chart, still long and still strong. We love to see it. This thing is just a monster move, and we are still in profit, trailed stops. I would love to see this thing break higher. If we just get another day of breakouts, heck, I mean, I'm not complaining, right? I'll trail this stop. My next goal is if we can clear the highs by a good margin, meaning a nice solid close above this yellow hand-drawn line, I would like to move this stop loss back even higher, right? Lock in more profit. I'd love to get my stop loss up to here, and it looks like we've got a nice initial move there. Drop it down just quickly to the 30 minutes so we can see what's going on. NAS is really strong. Gold probably also pretty strong. Look at this, guys. If you're watching the 30-minute on gold, you know, here's the thing. If you're a momentum trader, watch for possible even breakouts above the previous high. You know, as crazy as it sounds, look at this price action we see, right? Yes, gold seems quote unquote too high, but it can totally keep running. And if price action sets up, you know, if your risk to reward is fine, there's momentum trades that can still be taken, right? You know, people who are trying to fade gold would say, no way, why would you want to buy the highs? But the thing is, if you're break and retest and you're patient and you have good management on the trade, right? Good risk reward, it's still possible that there is possibly some good risk reward to be had going long gold, despite, you know, this thing being up for several days in a row. Again, I think it's a false, it's a fallacy to think that because gold has gone up that it can't possibly keep going. It totally could.
Did you know our market scanning software, the EDGEFINDER, just got even better? Check out our newest asset, Bitcoin. That's right, Bitcoin was our most requested feature update, and we're so excited to announce Bitcoin is finally here with plans to add even more crypto in the future. We've also updated our most popular feature, the Smart Money Tracker, adding even more data than before. The EDGEFINDER not only automatically scores 8 different metrics for each asset to give it an overall buy, sell, or neutral score, but it also keeps track of bank and analyst positioning, stores historical fundamental data, shows how assets are trending throughout the day, and so much more. Right now, our YouTube viewers can get the EDGEFINDER at a discounted price when they use promo code A1YT. You can check out the EDGEFINDER with the link down in the description below, and again, get it for the special discounted price when you use promo code A1YT at checkout.
I did take 2 losses. First one was on the euro dollar. Right here, this flag. So it turned out to be a 1% loss this morning. And then the second trade I took was on the pound. So same flag, same sort of a formation. Basically, what I liked about those trades was the momentum prior. I was seeing some nice bullish momentum. It was coming out of a range, but again, this is enough momentum for me. And currently what I'm seeing on the pairs is, well, not much. Again, I'm being more patient. Looks like this has retraced now. EJ, it's moving down, but for me, very wicky and very corrective, so I'm being more patient on this one as well. I'm not really seeing that much selling pressure. Then the Aussie US dollar ranging around, Aussie JPY, wicky as well, indecisive, very not clean price action. The pound, so yeah, just ranging around between the low and the high. And New Zealand Japanese yen ranging around as well, and again wicks all over the place, so that's a very bad warning sign for the strategy that I trade. And yeah, that's about it. So probably waiting for NFP. What I found, usually a day or 2 days before NFP, the market kind of slows down, prepares for the news. So yeah, we will see what will happen tomorrow, and then maybe that will start some nice trends.
Sure. I know we talked about this last time. We just talked about how, whether, you guys are, people in the audience are fundamental traders or not. We know Miko and Marko, you guys are both primarily technical traders. However, the news candles can still be very useful in perhaps setting up opportunities, and also something to be cautious about ahead of time, just because, especially if you're somebody who's trading like the 15-minute chart or, lower time frames, the news can knock you on your butt pretty quick if you're not careful. So thank you for that, Marko. I want to go to Miko also. Miko, in terms of setups, what are we looking at today? Is there anything sticking out to you, or do you have any trades open?
Yeah, I don't have any positions open at the moment. I'm looking at a couple pairs. In particular, I was looking at pound CAD a lot this morning for some buys, but I don't think I'm going to get the entry signal I was looking for. I was looking for a retest of this particular level here. We're starting to form a slight uptrend here to the upside, and we've got a lovely bullish trend in the higher time frames here, particularly the daily chart. So I'm looking for pound CAD to return back to the high. So that's the plan from the higher time frames, and on the 4H and on the hourly as well. We're starting to pick up a nice bullish trend, but we are breaking through that structure there, which is not necessarily a sign that we are going to suddenly melt to the downside, but it does mean I won't be looking for entries on that level anymore. We've got 9 minutes until that candle closes. So I was looking for some buys for pound CAD. I'm looking for buys for euro CAD as well. It's in a range, so I'm kind of waiting for it to break to the upside above the high of the range. I'm looking for, again, euro CAD, pound CAD, similar pairs. I'm looking for both of them to come back to their relative highs, back at 1.5 for euro CAD. But I do need to see a break of that high first, break of the consolidation to the upside, some pullbacks, and I'll be interested in some longs, but we've had another hefty rejection of the high of the range. So I'd probably suspect a bit more price action like that until we eventually break up or down, but I am interested for us to break to the upside and for some longs. Dollar pairs, I'm kind of in the same boat as Marko. I'm kind of just waiting for NFP on Friday, because ADUSD I'm still pretty bearish on. We've been falling to the downside for a while. I'm still looking for sells, but still very choppy. NZUSD similar as well. Euro and pound, kind of doing a bit of both. Euro broke to the upside quite aggressively this week, so I'm kind of staying put. Same thing with pound USD. So I'm kind of just waiting for the dollar pairs to move from Friday for NFP, and maybe some nice trades going into September. So that's kind of where I'm at in the markets at the moment.
Very cool. Yeah, I think it's definitely worth just being cautious ahead of NFP. Miko, you gave us a little bit of your ahead of NFP plan. Marko, you mentioned it for a second. I want to come back to you for NFP prep. Of course, tomorrow is the big number coming out. How do you, if any, what do you do to prepare for an NFP event? And what do you have any like levels? Like, for example, I know a lot of traders, what they'll do, if you share my screen for a second, Chandler, is like, if we're looking at like euro, for example, right? A lot of traders ahead of NFP, they'll get on their 4-hour chart and they'll kind of mark zones ahead of time. They'll say like, I'm watching for like an NFP break significantly below or above a key level. Do you do any prep like that ahead of NFP, or like mark levels out that you're watching for breakouts or reversals from?
So I don't do any sort of preparation, but I do have a rule. So I stop trading at 8 a.m. London Open on NFP. Basically, yeah, so no rules, no levels, but from experience, I noticed that the market kind of slows down before NFP. It doesn't really impact my trading, but then I kind of know what's happening, and usually, yeah, I take a day off on NFP basically.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, everybody's got kind of their strategy, and that's probably a very fair thing, because it's also you're I know for a lot of traders on Friday the markets get really quiet because Europe and that part of the world, their day is over shortly after NFP's release, right? Because it's in the afternoon for you guys. So I know that can be a very choppy aftermath, and NFP is notoriously volatile, and then like kind of you get some post news moves, but they can be weird, wonky, just because again a lot of the volume is drying up for the weekend. So it is an interesting news release, unlike, for example, like the Fed speaking, or CPI on a Tuesday or a Wednesday or Thursday, something like that. It's a little bit different, but anyways, I think for me, I do end up holding trades oftentimes through news events. I was talking this a little bit earlier on the stream. What about you, Mika? NFP, do you trade on that day, or do you kind of just manage trades if open, and do you ever hold trades into the release?
Yeah, so NFP, I kind of just treat it like pretty much any other news event. I do hold trades through the news quite a lot, because again, as a swing trader, it's difficult for me to kind of maneuver around the news. So I do hold trades overnight, and if I run into news, I'm not going to just exit just because news is coming up. So I will hold during news as well. So if I had a trade open right now, I would hold through NFP as long as I'm still in the position. I don't give any particular treatment other than if it's like an hour or 2 hours before, I don't enter a new trade, because if I do enter a trade, then my stop loss is kind of in the vicinity where I could get wicked out pretty easily, and spread will increase as well. So yeah, I try not to enter just before, but if I'm in a trade before, I will hold through the news and see what happens. So yeah,
that's somewhat similar to myself. I mean, when it comes to news events, I know, Miko, you're a little more like on the swing trading side like myself, and when it comes to like big news events like this, usually NFP day, I'm not taking a bunch of trades. I'm usually just kind of in trade management if I have something open, and if I have nothing open, I usually don't do much from there. So just kind of depends, different styles, different time frames. Of the three of us, I know Marko tends to be kind of the lowest time frame. I'm kind of in the middle, and I know, Mika, you're a little bit more 4-hour chart based, so you get a nice mix. So everybody in the chat, whether you relate mostly with Marko, Mika, or myself, hopefully that is a little bit of insights to help you guys out as we go into, again, probably the biggest news of the month. Jobs numbers are hotly anticipated right now. And this week, you guys have probably seen just the dollar, really taking a beating off of its highs of 104.4. It's come down really strong, just because, again, we've had basically a couple different data releases already hinting at weakening in the job market. So it'll be interesting to see if that NFP confirms it. And just to add context to that, I'd love to get you guys' technical thoughts on the dollar in just a moment, but I'll just add, if we get NFP, I know it's Technical Thursday, but give me 1 second to throw my fundamentals in there. If we have 3 really bad jobs numbers in a row, it's possible that the dollar cracks and breaks lower. And I would imagine you guys are probably seeing a little bit of that momentum drying up in the technicals as well. So Marko, what do you think on the dollar? I mean, whether take it from the daily chart, 1-hour chart, whatever you'd like to do, dollar index, I'm just curious, especially as we go into NFP, what you think.
Sure, so let me open it up. So yeah, on the 1 hour, I would expect this to go a bit lower. I mean, I'm seeing 2 very strong bearish legs, and I'm not really seeing that much bullish pressure kick in this pullback. So overall, the momentum is down for me personally. So I would expect more downside. Is it like a really strong downtrend? For me, it's not. Again, this leg is pretty deep, so I would not be 100%. I'm never 100% certain, but I would be kind of hesitant to say that probabilities are for this to go down, but I'm still seeing sellers winning in this current market, again, because of these 2 strong bearish legs, just by judging the current momentum.
Sure.
And overall kind of flat, possibly in this general area. So yeah, that's kind of my analysis on DXY.
Yep, fair enough. Yeah, I think at the very least, that slowing of momentum, whether this market's going to go kind of sideways for a while or possibly even break the other way, is going to be probably determined in large part by what we get tomorrow. Miko, what about yourself in terms of dollar index? Of course, that can be a big kind of place to start when it comes to dollar crosses. Is keeping an eye on the dollar index, or perhaps like the euro is another major one to watch, kind of to set the precedent for dollar pairs. What do you think?
Yeah, so DXY for me is in a very interesting area on the higher time frames, particularly the daily chart. Excuse me. So yeah, price is at a very interesting area. And for myself, I'm kind of just waiting for NFP because I know NFP is going to cause some movement, whether it's crazy or minimal, that's yet to be seen. But in terms of the technicals and the higher time frame, I've been looking at the DXY quite a lot at this particular area here because we were pulling back into this area. So I was waiting to see if the DXY is going to melt from here because we have been forming these lower highs, 1, 2, and potentially 3 over here. But we never really saw that. Price was just kind of moving sideways. So I was very, very neutral on DXY in this area. Then we had a big breakout. So I was looking for DXY to keep going, push back to the highs and those highs eventually. And then we had this big snap back to the downside again. And now price is kind of just dancing at this particular area. So my kind of bias is neutral. It looks like price may be breaking underneath it, but it's not clear cut. I want to see price kind of really pull away a little bit. And that's maybe what the NFP could give us on Friday. If you can see a really nice, confident, bearish candle closing below, then we could see that trend that Marko was talking about on the lower time frames really start looking a lot more significant, and then some shorts on the lower time frames going into next week will look good. So maybe some longs on euro, and likewise, if you do break to the upside as well, then we've got more of a confident breakout that we could be looking to come back into the highs over here and then over here. So I can see DXY going both ways, which is why I'm neutral. Just waiting for NFP to kind of cement things in stone.
Don't forget to check out the links in the description if you want our broker recommendation, access to our free Discord, free EDGEFINDER, or want to chat with us on Telegram. Remember, you can watch us live in the markets every morning starting at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and we have lots more free trading tools and content available on our website, a1trading.com. Thanks for watching.